Hello everybody, Passport Planet is back, and today we are in the country of Jordan visiting Petra. Now I know there's a lot of videos of Petra and what it has to offer, but I wanted to try and do my best to try something different to show my viewers why the seventh wonder of the world that's located in between the deserts of Jordan that collects over 1 million visitors a year. But the big question was, does it look the same since it was discovered in 1812 by this Swiss explorer Johann Burckhardt? So I decided to go during the quietest time of the year, the end of November, to see if it looks as spectacular as it does on TV. And man, I was in for a treat, and so is everybody else. I was up here at the very tippy top of the Dead Sea, as you can see in this map, and I stayed at the luxurious Kempinski Resort, which I'll release my review soon. I traveled down the King's Highway super early, around 5 a.m. to make sure I got a great start of my day. But there's really one thing I wish that I did that I want to make sure everyone understands, is give yourself more time to see the King's Highway during the daylight, because you're really going to see some magnificent views that I didn't get to see because I traveled during the early morning hours. Now I know that this video right here is nothing spectacular to look at or anything beautiful, but at least you'll get an idea of what the highway looks like. And again, I wish I stopped and I took my drone out to take some captivating photos and videos like this one here. If I were to do anything over again on this trip, it would take, again, some more time to take some photos and to soak up the scenery as much as I could. And the cool part was, as I got closer and closer to the town where Petra is located, I was able to experience what these little desert towns look like and the daily activities of a life of a Jordanian. So I just wanted to record some of this for all my viewers. If you want to fast forward, that's no problem. I just wanted everyone to see what it looks like in these small little towns. So I finally arrived where the town of Petra was located, and now it was just trying to find where the Welcome Center was and where to find an actual parking spot. And once I arrived and was able to park my car by the welcome entrance, I noticed there wasn't many people here, as I expected, but I just didn't know how many. And I was super happy I woke up early, even though I missed some of the views on the way. In this part of the video, I want everyone to be aware that although this place is one of the 7 wonders of the world, there are unfortunately people that will try and scam you by overpricing souvenirs, and also they'll try and get you to do private tours that will gouge you over $100, which I'll explain how I got scammed out of 60 bucks. But before we get to any of that, so if you get a Jordan Pass like I'm showing here in my email, it's around $105. So what does this Jordan Pass include? Prepaid tickets to 40 different attractions around Jordan, and your visa fee, which is $56 in itself at the airport. The only catch is that you have to stay in Jordan for a minimum of 3 days and 2 nights. So to put in perspective, just to get into Petra alone is $75. So getting the Jordan Pass is a no-brainer, and you'll save a ton of money. All you do is pull up your email with your QR code, and they scan it in at the gate. And here as you're walking towards where the actual entrance is to Petra, they give you a whole big history and an array of facts about the Nabateans and the kingdom itself. And here's a little tidbit of what I had to say of what my experience was so far when I first arrived at Petra. Okay, it is approximately now, it's 8:45 in the morning, and I got here around 8:15, and I tried finding a parking location, but I had a hard time. So I had a guy lure me in saying there was free parking, and then he tried to get me to pay him to do a tour. I think it was like 50 Jordanian dollars or something. So I declined because I'm kind of on a time crunch, and I just wanted to go in, see the Treasury. I already know all about the history, so I really didn't need a tour guide. And when I got into the visitor center, I was bombarded by everyone asking me if I wanted to buy this or that. I got pretty much bullied into trying to buy certain things. I did buy a shawarma, which was phenomenal, But yeah, they just wouldn't leave you alone. So just be very careful, be very mindful of that, because they are very persistent, and they will try and bully you into everything, and they'll try and negotiate with you. So just be careful, be mindful, and you'll be fine. This is a very dead season, so you really stick out like a sore thumb. It's December 1st, and it's about like 45 degrees, so it's not too cold, but not too hot either. So it's actually not too bad. And from the entrance to the Treasury, which is where mostly everyone goes to, is just a hair under a mile. And this is where things got a little interesting on my walk. This guy came up to me, showed me an ID card, and said he works for the Jordanian government, and he does tours. He didn't say a price, so I figured, why not? He offered to show me things off the beaten path that normal tourists wouldn't see, and views of a lifetime. I will tell you that this is a tourist trap, so pay attention, be careful. He gave me only a 20-minute guided tour, and then he wanted $100, which I told him he was out of his mind. I threw him a 20, and he was really insulted. I said, oh well, it's on you for not telling me how much you charge.
Here, the caves, we have 10,000 caves. And not all the caves, it's a house, what you see. Some of the cave is a tomb. Because Nabateans, he have different life. Tombs, the caves, tomb and the house. And that's why no tombs outside.
Ah, okay.
Yes. And how we know the tomb and we know the house? Okay. After you see many caves down, and if you want to know which tombs, which house, okay, the door, the houses, it's like this. The tomb is like that, you know?
Yep.
And they're the tombs. Come. See? This is what I said before. From the other side, you see good. This is tombs here, you see? In the middle?
Yep.
You see how is it the door?
Yep.
Yes. The gate is like this.
It's really hard to believe that there was over 30 to 40,000 Nabateans that lived here. It was really hard to wrap my head around it. But again, this place was huge and vast. And man, was this hike worth it. The views were absolutely stunning, and there wasn't a single person around. And just to give you an idea of how soft this red sandstone is, you can mold it in your hands if you press hard enough, which is why it was easy to carve their capital here. So while I was at the peak overlooking the whole old Nabatean kingdom that once stood back from 300 BC, but I was asking myself, where and why did these thousands of people flee the capital? The research I did showed that there was a bunch of theories. The main reason was because the trade routes were shifting, and because the Nabateans were known for their commerce around the Middle East, they had to move. They also suffered a massive earthquake that destroyed many of the city's buildings and water supply, and there also was a flood, and by 700 AD there was only a few people that lived in and around Petra. And here you get a really beautiful view of the entrance gate of Petra itself. And as my tour guide was leaving me, he told me to follow a stone path that led right to the Treasury, and there were still some awesome little views that I could see. And I will admit, there was literally nobody that was here on this trail, and there's a few times I thought I was getting lost, but thank goodness I found my way. And as the suspense was building up, because I knew I was probably less than a 15-minute walk to the Treasury, I didn't know this after, but as I was taking this video, Mount Or was not that far away from here, and that's where Moses' brother Aaron was buried. And I wish I knew about it, because I definitely would have made a point to go see that. And as I descended down to the bottom to see where the royal tombs were, the high place of sacrifice, these videos truly do not do justice, as you have to really see them in person. It's hard to wrap your head around of how they did this all the way back in 300 AD. And it makes you wonder, how many years did it take to complete this? I mean, you're talking 300 AD with very limited tools and materials. Now, if I took the normal route, which is about what 95% of the tourists take, I would have been to the Sikh and the Treasury a lot quicker, but taking the scenic hike that I did was totally worth it, even though I almost got gypped out of a ton of money. I know the Treasury was right around the corner, and this is what I've been waiting for to see since I was a little boy watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And as I was walking through the Sikh, I started truly to get goosebumps because for years I thought this place was just not something I'd ever see, and here I am walking through so much history where civilization has started. And waking up early, traveling over 3 hours, coming on December 1st when it's off peak with hardly any tourists, it really paid off because I truly got to see how magnificent this place truly was. And as I was navigating through the Sikh, and here it is, after traveling over 13 hours and 7,000 miles from New York, this birthday present to myself was truly magnificent. And when I first set my eyes on the Treasury, I just sat there in awe and just stared at it for about 3 minutes, just wondering how in the heck this has survived from 300 AD to now. It's just, I can't wrap my head around it. So my advice to everybody who's going to visit Petra, don't be the typical tourist that takes hundreds of photos and go on to the next monument or different place. So take time, relax, soak up what the Nabateans actually did here thousands of years ago. I myself probably hung out here for about 45 minutes, just trying to wrap my head around how colossal and beautiful this place was compared to all the videos and pictures I've seen online. So before I headed back to my car and headed to Wadi Rum, I wanted to take some cool photos I wanted to share with you. And of course they had camels there for a price. I don't know how much it was, but this was really cool seeing the camels there. It was very picturesque and it was a great photo op. So I just left the Treasury and I'm walking back, and my impressions are just unbelievable, kind of surreal when you watch YouTube reviews of Petra and you see it, and then all of a sudden when you actually do see it, it's very surreal. Yeah, it's hard to put into words, but I am very blessed and very happy that I was able to experience it and share it. And my almost mile walk was pretty sad because now that everything I've always wanted to see, I've accomplished. And it's something I will always remember my entire lifetime. I was on the road and on my way to Wadi Rum, and I hope this gives everybody some insight of what Petra is like. And again, the videos and pictures just don't do justice. This is a place you truly have to see in person. I hope you click on the link here and watch my review of Wadi Rum. This is Passport Planet, signing off, and I will see you again soon on my next journey.